Is fired Dallas Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy the new favorite to land the New Orleans Saints job? Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about Mike McCarthy, Big Mike, and the New Orleans Saints. I cannot believe I'm making this video. This is my nightmare. I thought at first, whenever the rumors would come out about McCarthy and the Saints, that people would poo-poo it pretty quick, that it would be laughed at. We would all giggle. We'd all have fun. We'd all have a laugh, hug, and whatnot. That's not the case. I'm hearing people who actually are entertaining the idea of Big Mike being the coach for the New Orleans Saints. I can't believe it. Let me make this very clear. Mike McCarthy is a fucking clown. Let me make this very clear. If Mike McCarthy is hired as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, I may have to chain myself to the Tom Benson statue outside of the Superdome and go on a hunger strike protest because of how bad of a hire that would be. This would make me sick to my stomach. I wouldn't be able to eat. I wouldn't be able to sleep. This would be the worst day of my life, okay? And that's saying a lot because I just got absolutely crucified for 2 straight days betting college basketball this weekend, all right? We're going to react to this video, but I don't want there to be ifs. I don't want there to be buts. I don't want there to be nothing when it comes to Mike McCarthy. I want it to be very clear that he sucks. He's always sucked. And we're going to talk about that today.
The big new wrinkle is Mike McCarthy, who has parted ways with the Dallas Cowboys today. He's expected to effectively become one of the favorites and one of the front runners to land the New Orleans Saints coaching job now. So we'll see when they get on the horn, when they decide to try to bring him in for.
If we hire Mike McCarthy, relegate the team, put us in the Big Ten. We're not even the Big Ten. Put us in the Mountain West and put us at an hour or something where I just can't watch the games. If we hire Mike McCarthy, I mean, just put us Wednesday at 3 a.m., let us go play Colorado State, and just be done with it. This would be the fact that Big Mike even would get hired by anybody is insane. The fact that he would get hired by the Saints in a situation that the Saints are in, the fact that we would be passing on like Clint Kubiak, passing on people like that to go with Big Mike is absolutely shocking. The fact that we would be entertaining Big Mike over someone like Kellen Moore is shocking.
For an interview and get that conversation done. The interesting thing about him is that he's a hire now that they could make at any time, that any team that's looking for a head coach can make at any time. They don't have to kind of follow the NFL timeline. So that's where the next big wrinkle comes in, is where does Mike McCarthy fit into the puzzle for New Orleans?
Where does Mike McCarthy fit into the puzzle for New Orleans?
Yeah, he's going to be one of the top guys. He's going to be somebody that they like. Jane Slater was speaking earlier in Dallas, and she was talking about how he's beloved within the building in New Orleans. Of course, a couple of the big decision makers on the, for lack of a better phrase, kind of search party or search panel, if you will, for that head coaching position. Mickey Loomis as well as Randy Mueller, former general manager. Both of those guys were on staff when Mike McCarthy was an offensive coordinator here, 2000 to 2004. And so they think very highly of him, reportedly, and the expectation.
All right, let's talk about this before I throw up all over myself. Really think about what they're saying. Like, oh yeah, they were here when McCarthy was here in 2000 and 2004. That is over 20 years ago. Think about if you were at a job and you brought, or let's just say let's say your job is looking to hire somebody. Can you imagine being like, oh, I know the perfect guy. I worked with this guy 21 years ago. Yeah, he's great. It's like, well, what's happened it's kind of important what has happened over the last 21 years. Like, that's kind of a weird reference. Let me talk about Mike McCarthy, because I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter saying why Mike McCarthy should be the coach, and I was hoping they would mention it here, but we'll have to move on. The first thing is like his success. Guys, Mike McCarthy has 11 playoff wins. He's 11-11. 7 of those wins came from 2010 or previously. So since 2010, okay, since the Super Bowl run, he's won 4 playoff games. All right, 7 plus 4, quick maths. Okay. Think about who Mike McCarthy had for all those years. Prime, peak, big dog Aaron Rodgers. All right, and what did Mike McCarthy do with him? He got his Super Bowl, and then nothing. Then just lost a bunch of playoff games. The very next year, after the Super Bowl, Green Bay Packers go 15-1. Pretty good team. What happens in the playoffs? They lose at home the first game. 0-1. Nice. How many times did Mike McCarthy go to the NFC Championship game? With prime Aaron Rodgers, peak Aaron Rodgers, height of his powers. 3-time MVP, or 4-time, whatever it is. Twice. He won the first one in 2010, and then he got dog walked by the Atlanta Falcons. All right? Mike McCarthy, offensive genius. First of all, LOL. Second of all, he wasn't even calling plays in Dallas. Kellen Moore was calling plays. Remember? This offensive genius isn't even calling the offense. Well, what about last year? What about this year? Right? Kellen Moore wasn't there. Correct. Mike McCarthy did take over play calling again. It was the worst per play efficiency offensively the Dallas Cowboys had in 20 years. What's next? Preparation. We all remember the 4th down play with Dak Prescott where Dak was scrambling around, time ran out, whatever. You can blame that on Dak. Here's a fact for you. For the last 4 seasons, 4 in a row, the Dallas Cowboys have led the NFL in penalties. Sweet. This is going great so far. Here's another one. The Green Bay Packers. Mike McCarthy. Again. Aaron Rodgers, peak of his powers, best player in the world. At this point, best quarterback to ever live. Like, you're watching Aaron Rodgers during this stretch, he's on a whole different level. The Packers are in a downward spiral, okay? They go 12 wins, 10 wins, 10 wins, 7 wins, 4 wins. McCarthy gets fired. Then the Green Bay Packers get better, okay? The Packers get way better really fast with Matt LaFleur. That is a really, really, really bad sign. When a coach gets fired and then immediately the team gets really sweet. And the team gets offensively better. They win more games. They're more prepared. The penalties stop. All of that stop. So what the hell are we exactly getting with Mike McCarthy? Oh, well, he won a Super Bowl. Sweet. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. He sucks. Bill Cowher won a Super Bowl 30 years ago. We're not going to get him. He won a Super Bowl 15 years ago. Again, with one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. And then did virtually nothing. Is this what we're looking for? Is this it? Is this the goal? To hire a 61-year-old head coach who has toiled and done virtually nothing over the last however many years? What exactly is he bringing to the table? He's not calling the offense. God, please don't let him be calling the offense. God, please. Why are we hiring? Because he knew Aaron Brooks? Because he coached Aaron Brooks in 2002? Sweet. What's going on here? I mean, oh, and then there's this. The national media ran a poll ranking the worst NFL head coaches to win a Super Bowl. Big Mike, numero uno. Number 1, worst. Okay. Mike McCarthy also has been vocal about criticizing analytics, not understanding analytics. Awesome. That sounds like exactly what we need in today's day and age. This could not be less of what the Saints need. What do the Saints need if we're going to talk offensively? Young, innovative, offensive-minded, analytically driven, in-game manager. Mike McCarthy is the antithesis of all those things. Or antithesis, some of my friends would say. I don't understand it. It's like people haven't been watching football when they talk about Mike McCarthy. If this revisionist history with Mike McCarthy is insane. This revisionist history that he's an offensive-minded guy, yeah, in 2010, he sure was. Mike McCarthy, besides this past year, which was a completely unmitigated disaster, Mike McCarthy hasn't called plays as recently as John Gruden called plays. And we were just talking about Gruden, saying that we think, well, Gruden might be the game might have passed him by, whatever. Unless we're building a time machine, unless future Trunks is Mike McCarthy's offensive coordinator, and we can go back to 2009, Mike McCarthy is not an offensive guy. He's not an offensive genius. Oh, well, Mike McCarthy can bring structure to the team. Oh, yeah? Like the 4 straight years of being the most penalized team in the NFL? That kind of structure? That kind of organization? That kind of prep? You know what Mike McCarthy did as far as organization when he got to Dallas? During the COVID season, he decided that Dallas needed a makeover defensively. And so him and Mike Nolan, another certified clown, decided they were going to revamp the defense. The defense was 27th in the NFL. They went and got Dan Quinn, fixed that real quick. Dan Quinn leaves. The Dallas Cowboys defense is a complete disaster with players like Micah Parsons. So, and something else I heard on Twitter was that Mike McCarthy developed Aaron Rodgers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think Mike McCarthy developed Aaron Rodgers, get your iPhone out and go to your calendar and change your birthday to January 13th because you must have been born yesterday. Mike McCarthy didn't develop Aaron Rodgers, okay? He inherited Aaron Rodgers, got lucky with Aaron Rodgers, sure. But if anything, you could say he stymied Aaron Rodgers. And he's the reason Aaron Rodgers didn't win 3 or 4 Super Bowls. I would hear that argument, for sure.
Is that with him now being available, that he jumps either to the top or at least near the top of the list for New Orleans in terms of the potential candidates for their next head coach in 2025.
Oh, boy. I'm not sure that's going to be met with resounding praise from the.
I don't think that's going to be the most inspiring hire. I completely agree with you. Do I think that he's the worst head coach option? No. But do I think that
he's up there? He might be.
That hire is not going to be the most inspiring? Absolutely. I completely agree with you there.
Make sure you check out Locked On Saints podcast, YouTube, whichever you prefer. Of course, you can read Ross's work every day.
So I'm glad these two said that because I have been seeing mostly positive. I've been seeing mostly positives when it comes to Big Mike. I really have. And it's kind of shocking. It really is. Because, like I said, I thought people would say, like, this is a disaster. No way. This is horrible. We can't do this. I'll cancel my season tickets. And people are like, no, that's what the Saints need. They need some stability. They need a guy who's won. They need the human thumb. Look at this photo. He'd be the greatest Thumb Wars competitor in history. I mean, he looks like Stickly, but and damn it. Guys, I don't know. It's like if they make this hire, what this does is it tells you exactly what the Saints want to do. It tells you that they just want to be relatively mediocre, kind of navigate 10-ish wins, and that's it. I would much rather wait, interview Kellen Moore. And I'm not even saying Kellen Moore should be the head coach. But if you want a offensive guy, whatever, why would you go with Big Mike when Kellen Moore is the guy who orchestrated the offenses that you're giving Mike McCarthy credit for? Because there's no way you're giving him credit for 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, because obviously those offenses are antiquated and it doesn't matter. You need a more recent example of success. You can't be he was really good in 2008. It's the game was totally different. That doesn't matter. So over the last 5 years, Mike McCarthy has been nothing but bad when calling offensive plays. And the one time that his team was good offensively, I'm doing this little monologue here with the backdrop of Tom Holland and Zendaya just absolutely being in love. This is insane. I can't keep my eyes off of their romance story. Thank you for switching it. Jesus. But go get the guy who has been good offensively or as an offensive mind. Or just stick with Kubiak and Rizzi. How is Mike McCarthy, because ladies and gentlemen, I'll go ahead and tell you this. If you hire Big Mike, that's coming with a whole brand spanking new offensive staff. And that's coming with a brand spanking new defensive staff. And the last time Big Mike tried to create his own defensive plan, the Cowboys were 30th in the NFL. And then, in came Dan Quinn. This is a mess, man. This is a mess. Absolute mess. 1-3 record in the playoffs in Dallas. I don't know. I hate it. I hope this goes away. I really hope this is not the answer. There's got to be somebody else. There has to be someone else. It cannot be this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.